All right, friends, have you ever been so hungry that you got threatened with a knuckle sandwich and you got excited because you thought it might be free food? Friends, we are not thirsty or hungry over here. We are full and we're making it happen, rapping all day long, friends. This is a piece of ingot that I rolled out, and while I have your attention, please hit like. If you would just smash that like button, it really helps the algorithm and helps grow our channel into the cosmos, friends. Let's put the channel into the cosmos. Now here I have a piece of rolled ingot that is rolled on my Vivor rolling mill, and I really like these edges. If you guys can see that, the cracks in the edges, guys. I did anneal this and sand it, and this video today we're going to do some texturing, and we're going to do a really cool hinge that I kind of thought about this morning when I was waking up. I thought of this really cool hinge idea, and I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to find out, friends. So this right here is, it's about 7 and some inches. So enough that we can probably chop a little bit off to get some flat ends. And the thickness of this is, it's bigger than 16 gauge, but not bigger than 14 gauge. So probably 15 gauge. And we're going to have some fun with this. So let's do some texturing. And then we're going to turn this into a hinge bracelet with a cool little clasp idea that I have. And we're going to see if it works. I don't know. But this is part of the adventure. So welcome to Boom Jewelry Designs Jewelry Adventures, where we are in it to win it. We are true to this, not new to this, friends. And we're going to make it happen. So without further ado, let's get started with this. And let's go to the texturing idea. And I'll see you right over there. All right, we are here on the wild side right here, guys, and I have my big hammer here, and I have a rock that is part of my footpath. You can see I've used it before, and this rock has some really cool textures to it, and we're just going to bead on this. I might be talking a little bit loud because I have my ear protection in, which you want to have your ear protection in when you do this, and your eye protection, ear and eye protection. Let's just go through this. I'm going to shut up and you'll see how I do this and what the result is. And oh, it broke the rock. This is sandstone, by the way, and I don't think you should use sandstone. Damn. Dude, I'm jacking this rock up. Let's move to a rock that's not sandstone, and someone's going to yell at me for breaking this. Just moving it around. Grass, gunk. Let's clean it up, take it back to the shop, and see what we have. Okay, amigos, I did the boring part. I annealed it, put it in the acid, and then I put on my blue wheel, which I believe is 400 grit, just very lightly, because I wanted you to, I was hoping a little bit of the white from the acid would still be showing, and you kind of can see it, but you can really see the texture there, friends. And it's a random, rustic looking texture. So we're kind of going to look at it and see which side do we like. What side are we falling in love with? And I can already tell you, I think I'm in love with this side. I think you might agree. Yeah, so at this point, friends, what we're going to do is saving as much material as possible. We're going to flatten these ends. This is a cool project that doesn't have to be perfect, and no project has to be perfect, but this one especially not. Let's saw this off real quick and I'll bring you guys right back. Bam. Boom, cut that off, cut this off. Now we have some little chunks we can always roll out later or use them for something else, or just a scrap to remelt. Pushing the foot tray that catches my sawdust out of the way, readjusting my stool. Okay, guys, so this is where we are. Let's see what our length is. We're at 6.5. So a typical lady wrist is about 6. So I think with a 1/2 inch, a little bit over a 1/2 inch, and plus the hinge, we'll be able to be about 6 and almost 6.5. I've just been sitting here for the past couple minutes, just kind of contemplating, and I think I want to do it kind of like I did this one. This is the boom clasp that I invented. I've asked all over the world if anybody has seen this before, and nobody said yes, so I'm just going to go with it. But if you look at this, the long side, there's a long side, and then there's a short door side. And this needs to be cleaned. I've had this for years. Oh, I love it. So we're going to go a long side with the short side. And so we're kind of thinking in this area right here. Okay. The key is, and let me just show you, we'll kind of mock it up right here about where the meeting point will be. And then I know I want the hinge to be on the outside and the connection to be right here where it's easy for me to visually look at what I'm doing when I'm sliding the boom clasp. Bam, friends. And we're gonna do a really cool hinge. And right here, typically, friends, would you guys think to do a hinge? Usually it has the 3 parts, right? In the middle, side, middle. That's what you would think we would do. What are we gonna do? Not that. Stick around. Psychological tactics, friends. If you guys see me do the last few millimeters, I feel like you were there the whole time. Little trick I picked up. Now I know I might not be the most handsome guy at the high school dance, but all the cool chicks are hanging out with me because I have the party favors. Oh, buddy, look what we have here. I have gone through some different experiments, and this is what I like. You can see the new favorite I put on here. It requires 18 gauge. It's thicker tubing that you can buy from Rio. Sometimes I make my own hinges, guys, and I really enjoy making my own hinges. But I don't have the skills to make a small hinge yet, like small tube. But look at this tube, and I'll tell you why I like this tube so much is because the wall on it is quite a bit thicker than the previous one I was using. And I like a thicker wall on my hinges just for strength. So let's just look in here, friends. 18 gauge fits right in there, very snugly. The item number is 100450. Information right there. It is my favorite when it comes to hinges. Now, what I do is I go a little longer than I need because I can always file off. And it's better, as you know, if you're a fan of my channel, you know how I am. More material than not enough, guys. Can't go to the barber and ask him to add a little to the sides. It doesn't work that way. So we're going right here, and I'm going to go ahead and saw this off. You don't need to see me do that. I'm going to bring you guys right back. So I'm thinking about this, and I know that for my latch, I want to drill a hole and solder a post in this end right here. So I think I'm going to drill the hole first. All right, guys, I want to use 12 gauge, 5/64ths. 5/64th bit. I can feel the 12 gauge coming through on this side. So this is the post I want to create for this. What I want to do, friends, what does Benny want to do? What does Benny want to do? We're going to go right here. We're going to go a little taller than we think we might need because we could have more material than not enough. 12 gauge, 2 millimeters. I need to learn for our European audience. Okay, we have that right there. That's just poking through. What I'm going to do is put a little bit of solder on this back end so it fills that and then really solidifies that right in there. I don't know if I want to do that yet, but maybe I'll just leave that in there. Because I might want to wait for it to, when it's bent, to put this in. And I wonder if we can use one of those scrap pieces from before. I'm going to roll this out and see what I can get it to look like. And then we'll see if it's possible. All right, cat moms and dads. I did roll this out, guys, so I got a nice little gate on here, and this is going to go right here, and I'll probably shape this underneath here just to make it cool as well, but and maybe texture this. But first, guys, I almost got ahead of myself. What I remembered from last time I did, what I've learned from my hinges is to bend before you put the hinge on, because you may have to hammer it quite a bit to get the bend exactly the way you want it. And if you have to shy around this hinge area to keep from bending in the hinge, you're not going to get the curve that you want, and it's going to hinder your overall desired, because you're going to have to stay away. You're going to have to keep your hammer away from this area. So let's work it first, and we'll put the hinge on a curve. And it's really not that difficult, friends. I've done it before, and it's just basically the same way, except for you just have a little bit of a curve to it, and everything's propped up the way it needs to be, and it's really actually pretty easy. Just as easy, in fact. It's just half of soldering the hinges on, guys, is getting everything prepared and getting everything situated exactly the way you want it. So let's get our mallet out. And my new technique with my mallet is use the material that's from the glasses. It doesn't mar the metal much, but it does give it some impression, some pound impression. And if you're trying to avoid that, like I am often. Okay, can you guys see this? I know I'm wearing hood flip-flops. Sorry, guys. I'm hood. Just to kind of get you guys on board, the acute angle is the one furthest away from the hinge. So the acute angle is going to have to be over here. But I'm going to sacrifice this little piece of 12 gauge right here. I'll try to put it back in just for you guys. I'll put it right there so I don't lose it. Sometimes if I get it like that, I can kind of gorilla it sometimes. And I did anneal this. Acute. That's kind of what we're looking for. Yeah, about like that. And then this is going to be... Okay, let's give this a little bendage. Close, we're in the ballpark, friends. And then the hinge will be right here. And the gate will go right here. Right over here. I'm gonna file this, texture it on the rock, and bring you guys right back. All right, you cowboy killers. And when I say cowboy killers, I mean Marlboro Reds. Right here, friends, this is where I'm at, and this is where it's gonna be. Now we have I think we have everything kind of like we want it. Right here, and then this is the gate that's gonna go over the top. Oh, the stump is gonna be right here. So underneath it's going to look like this. So it's going to be flush to the wrist, so it will be comfortable. And over the top is going to be that connect. It's going to go. Now what we have to consider is that the angle at which this closes, we need to make sure that we have enough meat here for this, for it to get over at its toppest point, and then as it comes down and gates down. So there's some things to consider, guys, and we want to give ourselves enough material. Not enough, more material than not enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right at the very edge. I'm going to get hard solder on the very edge here. All right, hunchbacks, this is what I want to show you guys. Well, you're not a hunchback if you have a real jeweler's bench. But guys, this is what I want to show you guys. Sometimes you have to use your blocks, your little spare pieces you have around, to get just the right angle. I want to solder just drop some solder right in this area right here, and then so that it is right there. So I don't want it to go too far this way. So what I'm going to do is use pencil and just make a line, and I hope you guys, I'm just going to do this so you guys can see. This is where I want the solder. And if you use the carbon, whatever it is from the pencil, they say the solder won't run past the pencil marking. So let's put a little bit of flux. Let's use our solder pick to kind of spread that flux just where we want it. Let's cook off the flux so that our solder doesn't start doing prison burpees. Have you seen the prison burpees on the YouTubes? Oh man, I watched the reels of these prison workouts. These guys get down, man. And then I tried to do burpees. I was like, man, I'm gonna get fit like those guys in prison. So I started doing some burpees, and I did about 4 before I almost had a heart attack. Oh. Hard solder in my gray solder bowl. I separate my solders in the color of the bowl. And we do have that pencil on there. So we're gonna see if that pencil is going to, see if that solder stays right where it's supposed to. looks like it did. It didn't go past any of the, I'm gonna go give it some extra heat. Yeah, see guys, it stayed right, this line that I put, it stayed right in that area. It worked! Oh. Okay, Thundercats, I put it in the acid just a little bit so we can get a nice visual of the solder, because we want to not have gunk and we want to increase our chances for success. Utilize our technique here just so we don't get solder moving back here. I don't know. I mean, better be safe than sorry, right? Good. Okay. Now this is kind of a big mass that it's on, so we're going to focus on this part first. And we're just going to circle our flame so it gets nice and friendly down here, so it doesn't suck heat away from our area of focus. And once this is on, then I'll be able to drill the hole. But I want to be able to have the stub kind of sticking out so I can really know where to drill the hole. Because if I drill the hole now, it might be wrong, and then I have to end up drilling like a big huge hole, and then I gotta think of plan B. So we're gonna not try to go to plan B. Let's stick with plan A if we can. Okay guys, I'm gonna increase the heat just a little bit so we're not here all day. There it goes. Looking good. Looking for any sign of solder runnage. Press. I did not see a sign of solder runnage. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. Let's look. Okay, that had to be, guys. I'm pressing. I feel like we got a good. Okay, we're good. Okay, now we're here. And this is where this door is gonna be, friends. Let's just take a quick look at this. This is gonna be bent over. Gotta have it kind of bent over like that, guys. Get a nice flushness. Kind of hung over like after your nephew's birthday party. You know how you get. Now, we're gonna do the hinge. And the hinge requires, now this is still pretty hot for me dealing with it, so let's just kind of use some new pieces. This is my idea. One side has the hinge. It's a 1-bar hinge. I know it might be hard to conceptualize right now, but just wait. We're going to solder this on now that we have it mocked up just the way we want it. All right, it's finely balanced. I'm going to put a little bit of flux. Cook the flux off, as you know. I'm going to toast this up while we're here. First, I'm going to place the solder. We're going to go hard solder, some pick soldering right here because, and I don't want the solder balls to fall into the holes, so I put them on these little edges. I don't think I'll need 3, but I'm going to put 3 out because sometimes you drop one, you lose one, it falls in the hole, and then you got to stop, collaborate, and listen. No, just pick some more solder out, and it's super annoying. So we're going to go right here. Oh, geez. All right, guys. Now we have it on our third hand like a smart person. I don't know what I think sometimes. The whole time you guys are like, Benny, no, it's going to fall. You know it's going to fall. But I love the punishment. You know, that's why I'm a cat dad. We love the neglect. We love the punishment. Making biscuits on my head at 4 in the morning. Oh, nobody doesn't love that. Just warming it up so that it doesn't sink too much. We're going to focus closer to the area. And then solder ball right in the groove. Get into the groove. Sorry guys, sorry. You've got to prove, sorry guys. I'm sorry. Okay. It kind of wanted to respond onto the tube. We're going to really focus our heat on the mass. There we go. We're getting some action. Okay. the solder flowed about 4 seconds before I took the heat off because I wasn't sure, but now I'm sure. Okay. Now on that surface side, it looks very good. On the underside, looks like it usually does for me. It's for you guys. Okay. It's not all the way through, but now I'm going to take my little... Now I have a little bit, about a half a mil or a fraction of a millimeter. I can feel it on this side. So it's in there. Now we're going to put some solder in there and really secure that in there. If I invite you to the party, I'm going to dance with you. We're here right now. I did put that piece of solder, that hard solder that I had sitting there that I didn't use on the hinge. I just still had it there. So now I'm just heating this up. Kind of a good flame. Keeping the blue part of it probably about 3/4 of an inches away from where I'm trying to be. That flame has lots of oxygen in it, and we want to keep that away from our... Creates fire stain when you have extra oxygen, more than necessary. Okay, that solder's starting to respond. I'm just gonna mash it. Now, if you look very closely, you can see where that solder came through. Ooh, let's see. Ooh, if you see very closely, I think, unless I'm tripping. So as you can see, as it comes in at an angle, you know, like a landing airplane, it kind of comes in at an angle. So you're gonna have to account for that when you start to make your hole in this top part. But before we do that, guys, I think we're gonna do this hinge idea, and you guys are probably wondering how, and I'm gonna show you guys. I don't know how. I'm going to figure it out, though. That's the part of the jewelry adventure, friends. We're going to figure it out. I have an idea that just popped in my head right now. Okay, here we go. A horseshoe concave like that. I'm going to flatten that out. Now we have some body here. We have some body here. Cut right here and cut right here. So when that wire comes out, then it's still along the profile of the piece. It's learning. This is probably a good pickup right here. I might do a little bit higher on this. More wire in contact is better than less wire in contact. Now part of me is thinking about right here flattening these a little bit. I probably should have done one at a time. That side. More, but now we have flat, so when our solder goes against the other side on the edge, we'll have something kind of what we're looking for. Okay, amigos and amigas, this is where we are, friends. This is the wire. If you can see in there, I have the wire and it's bent right to on both sides. And now I would like to flatten this if I could to get a little bit more surface area. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I'm probably going to open that up and flatten it a little bit, just hammer it. I've never seen this before. We're going to try it. I don't know if it's going to work. It could be a huge disaster, but that's what we're here for. All right, revolutionaries, I'm trying to get you the best angle we can do. I got these right here in case I needed to give it a little pinch. I'm going medium solder. I just used my half round pliers and did some squeezes and got that inside to have a little bit of surface area. So I don't want to accidentally solder the clasp to the hinge. So I have a little gap there. Let's get some temperature. Pig solder. I'm going to be generous because this has to be a strong bond. Okay, this is going to be a forever piece, and we want to have a nice strong bond. Okay, that's responding on this side. best. All right, friends, I looked at it in the light, and there's no light showing on either side of these wires. So it's not the best job in the entire world, but look at it, guys. I think we discovered a cool hinge idea. Because this would be pretty small if you had to divide this into 3 hinges. You could still do it, and I've seen it done. But what about this idea? Fine-tune this just with some handwork and just like not putting too much pressure on the hinge. Mark a little dot. You gotta remember, it comes in for a landing, so it has to be a little bit more forward than you think. So I'm going to just put just a really small drill hole in there and gradually make it big until I get what I'm looking for. I just hammered it like you would do the top of a rivet. Cross hatch hammered, boom, 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 boom. And then I got a little bit of that kind of lip that I'm looking for. See that? I don't know what I'm doing, guys, but I think we're going to pull it off. Alrighty, friends, I've been working on this. What I did was I put it on my mandrel, on my wrist mandrel. And just like this, and then I kind of just hammered on that flat end, just kind of boom, 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 just hammered that till it got like it wants to be friends. And if you look at that profile, it does want to be friends. Now it's not perfectly matched up, if you can see that. It's not perfect, but it's very soft and it's going to be comfortable. It's still a flat plane. Now there's lots of cleanup to do still, guys, but this is the gist of it. Look at this. Have you guys seen that before? If you have, put in the comments what it's called. But look at that, guys. And this is what I was telling you about. When the plane comes into land, it doesn't want to touch. You have to give it a little bit of attention, and then it clicks right in. And that's not going nowhere, like your stepdad used to say. Right there, friends. I didn't tell you guys that I almost forgot to do that. So before I just kind of just put the stamp, boom, 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 put my boom on there. But right, yeah, guys. And if it ever doesn't want to, the tension is part of it. Look. You can get in a bar fight probably with that on. You'll be fine. You just have to tell your client that if it starts to just want to be too in, then you just have to kind of pull it out a little bit, get that tension kind of going again, and then boom. And you know that satisfaction of that snap. Oh, friends. I'm going to put this in acid, and we're going to land the ship. Yeah. Okay, jewelry friends, this is where we are. I did do a little bit of blue will. I took it out of the pickle, did a little bit of blue will, and I'm pretty pleased with it, guys. What do you guys think? Would you guys try this? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it'll last? I think it will, but... And one little tip, too, I didn't mention is I got right here with my saw blade and kind of on that 12-gauge wire, and on the click side, I kind of sawed in a little bit, kind of like a little groove, so that this would really make sure it has a nice click. It's flush, it's flat all the way at the bottom, it's rustic. It's going to look really awesome once... I'll probably clean. I'm going to do a little bit of shaping right here. This is kind of got, when I beat on it, this one kind of came out a little bit. I might leave that, probably will, but I'll probably get a little bit dialed in. Maybe just round this right here, maybe just for comfort, because I don't want, you never want little points. But this is more of an experiment, and you can do, if I would have made my hole just a little bit different, this probably could have been flush under there. And maybe on my next one, I'll be more cognizant of that, but I wasn't really sure. And it was a good idea to not leave a whole lot of gap, but a little bit of a gap there, so that when this rotates around, it doesn't interfere, doesn't rub on the hinge. So right there, friends, I hope this had some value to you. If it did, please hit subscribe. Thank you for all the people that are the super thanks. I got my first super thanks on the last video, and how cool is that? You can just like super thank me and give me a couple bucks, man. That's pretty cool. But all the people that are buying me coffees and supporting the channel and the movement of freedom, bravery, adventure out here in the mean streets, coming to you from Western Colorado, friends. Thank you for this hanging out for this adventure. Stick around for the music video debut of this piece. You know I make the beats and for the music video debuts and for the beats during the video when I do use them. Those are all beats that I make so that we don't get copyright stricken. But this is going to be a comfortable piece for the friends out there, whoever decides to make this their forever piece, and I hope it lasts forever, and I think it will. Listen one more time. How fun. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. I hope it wasn't too long of a video. Stay brave. Hug your loved ones. Enjoy the beautiful weather here in Western Colorado. It's about to be fall, and you can feel it in the air. And just stay healthy out there. Drink plenty of water. Make sure you're getting exercise and eating healthy. Yeah, all that good stuff, friends. You know what it is. I'm Benny. I'm out. Peace.